Hey, good morning, FCF. We're starting a journey for the next 8 days. It'll be 2 weeks all in all, 4 days 1 week and 4 another. We're going to be looking at a subject that it's not a real easy one, not a real pleasant one, but it's certainly one common to most of us, and that's that there are times in life where we hear people say things about us that we're not pleased with. They may be things that are not accurate at all, not fair at all. They may be intentionally injurious, out and out slanderous. Meant to be hurtful and destructive. So how do we deal with that? Particularly as Christ followers, how do we deal with the intense feeling that it creates inside of us? What do we do? Do we fight it outright? Do we turn the other cheek? I mean, how do we handle these things? So that's what we're going to be looking at as we go on this journey. So let's start in Matthew's Gospel, chapter 5, and I'm going to read to you verse 11 and 12. Jesus speaking, he says, "Blessed are you when people insult you." Now just stop. How many of you have ever been insulted and you thought to yourself, this is so wonderful, I am blessed, I'm a blessed person. But Jesus says, nevertheless, "Blessed are you when people insult you, persecute you, and falsely say, notice that, all kinds of evil against you because of me. Rejoice and be glad, because great is your reward in heaven, for in the same way they persecuted the prophets who were before you." Now it's important for us to pick up on something, that Jesus didn't say that we would be protected from false accusations or slander or insults. He didn't say that at all. He didn't say that these would be just or fair. He didn't say that they wouldn't do damage. He simply said that what we need to tuck away in our minds is that if we are being faithful to Him, and as a result of our faithfulness to Him, these things occur, that we should learn to inwardly at least rejoice. And that inward rejoicing becomes kind of a counterbalance to the rush of emotions that go through us when these things occur. We usually, when we hear them, we feel wounded, and the woundedness usually quickly bolts over to anger next, because anger just feels a little bit more powerful, and then we start to strategize what we're going to do to try to clear our reputation or clear our name, whatever it might be. But sometimes you can't do anything. Sometimes no matter what you say or we do, it just makes things look worse. So those are those times where we have to do one principle that I'm going to share with you now, and we're going to look at it periodically through this journey. But it's from 1 Peter chapter 4, verse 19. It says, "So then, let those who suffer according to God's will So then, those who suffer according to God's will should commit themselves to their faithful Creator and continue to do good." There's two steps in this that are very important. It's saying that, first of all, you're suffering, but you don't deserve it. You're in God's will, but you're suffering nevertheless. It says we need to commit ourselves to God, but then we need to continue to do good. Now, those two things are not the easiest thing in the world. So when we're being accused or slandered or attacked verbally or treated unfairly, we should just say, "God, I know you see this, and I know you know what's going on, and I'm going to trust you. I'm just going to let this go, but I'm not going to let it impede me from continuing to do what is right, to do what is good, regardless of what is being said about me." That's easier said than it is done, but it is possible. And that's the higher way that God calls us to handle these kind of situations. But He does not always protect us from these. And that's important for us to accept. Jesus Himself, as you're going to see as we take this journey, Jesus Himself was the recipient of enormous, outrageous slander and criticism. And unfortunately, so will we likely be as His followers. So this is day one. Look forward to the rest of this journey with you. Thank you, FCF.